Good evening, world. It's Ivan Amara. It's 5:40. Hope you guys enjoyed this show I made earlier this morning. This video won't be long. I'm only going to talk maybe an hour max, because I'm very hungry. I fasted all day. Yeah, are you serious? Yeah, but today's my cheat day. I'm going to get junk food, obviously. But tomorrow I'm going to eat food at home. And yeah, I do a thing where I don't eat anything for breakfast and lunch. But dinner time I eat one meal. Today's my cheat day. So I'll get the junk food. But tomorrow I'll be eating at Hoko Fruity, and I'll eat maybe just one meal, one plate of a meal in the evening, and that's enough. That's how I lose the weight. Because right now I'm 260, right? I want to lose the weight. So you're hungry, Ivan? Yeah, I didn't eat anything all day, man. There's food upstairs, but I don't want to eat it. I'm going to save my appetite for the junk food, obviously. Yeah. I work tomorrow at Coco 40, right? Did you hear back from the people, Ivan? No, I didn't, man. But I applied to Cineplex again in Ottawa. So I applied to two Cineplex locations, the one in Ottawa and the one in Gatineau Plateau. But if both theater chains contact me, I'm going to choose the one in Gatineau, because the one in Gatineau is closer to home. I only have to take the 49. With the one in Ottawa, I have to take like 2-3 buses to get there. So it's like, yeah. So I'm most likely going to choose the one in Gatineau or Cineplex if I get the job. I hope I do, right? Yeah. This video will be as long as I'll talk for an hour and that's it. I'm gonna go upstairs and get some coffee to help me with my appetite. I'm fucking hungry. I didn't eat all day. I'm really hungry, yeah. Yeah. I love Volume 3 fans like the best. Based off what I read, I think Volume 2. The only reason why I think Volume 2 fans will like more than Volume 3 is because Volume 3 is a plot twist, and I take the story on a totally different direction that you don't really expect. Some fans might not like that. It could be a bit divided, obviously, with the fan base. Hence why I think they're going to like Volume 2 the best. But in terms of the big shit happening and the climax and everything, Volume 3 is when all the big stuff happens. And so that's why it's my favorite. But some fans, I think most fans are going to like Volume 2 the best. But there are going to be some fans who like Volume 3 better than Volume 2. And there are some fans who are going to like Volume 1 better than Volume 2 and Volume 3. It just depends how the art hits you. When I release my book on movies, I'm saying what I'm taking right now. You guys see what I'm saying? I was just saying, yeah. Yeah. Some center. Yeah. I'm gonna go upstairs and get a coffee, guys. Fucking, I need a coffee right now. Yeah. Yeah. Does your book have flaws? And of course it does. Every book, doesn't matter how amazing of a storyteller you are, every book will have flaws. It has flaws too. I caught a few flaws in my book when I read it, obviously. I don't know, a good 0.12% of the book's a little bit raw. The dialogue's a bit stiff, obviously. And the character of Eret's not developed as well in Volume 1 and Volume 2, but in Volume 3 he's more developed. Those are some flaws you'll catch. And the Eagles and Crows and the character of Patrice, Lithia's father, he's not developed that well either, obviously. But the majority of my story is top notch. That's why I wrote the best fans novel written. My second, I told my book's number one. Man. Number one, it's the best fans novel written. Yeah. Yeah. That's why the gatekeepers aren't touching my money, man. Zero. The billions are the books for me and my wife. It's not for you. It's my money, not yours. You're not touching my money. There you go. Some Sarah. I'm so hungry. I didn't eat all day, yeah. When you go back on the treadmill, yeah, I will. I'll start going to the treadmill once I get another job because Cocoa Fruity is very tiring on the body. When I work at Cocoa Fruity, I have like no energy to go on the treadmill. I did go on the treadmill for a good like month and a half. I noticed how my body was very, very tired. I was so exhausted. It was very stressing. Because dishwashing at Cocoa Fruity is a lot of work. Hence why once I get another job, which I should get one of these jobs, right? Once I do a non-dishwashing job, obviously I'll now be able to go on the treadmill 7 days a week. Some Sarah. And I'll stop the fasting, obviously. Once I go on the treadmill, I'll eat my breakfast and my lunch and my dinner. But for now, because I want to drop weight, I'm doing a thing where I fast. I don't eat breakfast, I don't eat lunch, I just eat dinner at nighttime. And that's it. That way I burn more calories. Yeah. Some Sarah? Guys, you saying, yeah. After this video, I'm going to upload it and I'm going to take another shower and I'm going to go to the store and get my junk food, obviously. I'll get Snack Shack. A few hot dogs and maybe a burger. A Snack Shack with a drink, right? Fucking hungry. Yeah. Did you save your money, Ivy? Yeah, I saved a little bit of money. It's not much, but I saved a little bit of money. But I need to save at least a good like $4 or $5 grand by the end of the year. Then I can get my book proofread and design my cover for my book. And I'll do that interview with Vince Valentino. I'll contact him on his YouTube channel. I have the keys, he'll know. I'll contact him on his YouTube channel. I want to do an interview talking about the book publishing business, my book, and advice to authors. Okay, you pay Vincent $200, $250 for the interview. And they have someone film it in his apartment. And after that, you can buy him beer or you get drunk and you order pizza or something like that for you and Vincent. Do some of that, Ivan. Yeah. 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 So, you think most fans like Volume 2 the best? Yes. Because Volume 2 is the bridge volume. And some fans might not like the fact that I take the story in a different direction in Volume 3. When you read Xanus, you don't expect that when you read Volume 3. I did not expect this. Because I made a major change, a major shift in Volume 3, some fans might not like that. It could be a bit divided with the fan base. Hence why I think most fans are like Volume 2 the best. And in Volume 3, a lot of fans are going to like 2. A lot of fans will like Volume 3 better than Volume 2, but I think most fans will say, yeah, Volume 2 is my favorite, and Volume 3 is a close second. And Volume 1 is obviously the worst because it's just a build-up of the plot of the story, right? Nothing really happens much in Volume 1. It's a build-up volume. That's why it's the worst one, obviously. Yeah, when you read it, right? Yeah. Are you going to go over your book today, Ivan? No, I'm going to postpone it. I'll go over it tomorrow. I'm lazy. Tomorrow I'll go over it. After my shoot at Cove, I'm immediately going to go over Volume 3, fix it up. And I'll make my video in the afternoon, evening, whatever it is. 4 o'clock, 4:30, 5 o'clock evening tomorrow. See what I'm saying? Yeah. That's why Xanus was the best fast novel written. Okay, give me a sec, guys. I'm going to go upstairs and get my coffee. Back in a sec. Skins really don't laugh a lot. I'm guys doing the show. Alrighty, guys, I'm back. I went upstairs to, there's no coffee left, so I went upstairs to make a fresh coffee. So in a good maybe like 5 minutes, I'm going to go upstairs to get my coffee. I brewed fresh coffee for myself. Yeah. So most fans, yeah, I'm making a prediction. Most fans will tell you Volume 2 is their favorite. That's my prediction. Most fans are going to like Volume 2 the best. And Volume 3 a close second, and Volume 1's the worst. But there are some fans who might even think Volume 3 is the worst. Because Volume 3, you have a big plot twist. You don't really expect that to happen in the story. And some fans might not like that much. I take it on a totally different direction in Volume 3. And Volume 3, you can argue, is the most raw of the 3 volumes. So some fans might even think Volume 3 is the worst. But I think Volume 3 is the best. And Volume 2 is a very, very close second. They're pretty much like back and forth. I think Volume 3 takes the cake because it's when the serious shit happens in the story. And Volume 1 is the build-up of the story. Hence why, for me, it's the worst. But some fans might like Volume 1 the best, right? It just depends how the art hits you. I don't know. We'll see what happens when the world reads my book. Yeah. Some Sarah. Yeah. Yeah. I've stopped playing with my hair. It's not good. Yeah. Yeah. Well, I want to show us Volume 3 because Volume 3 is when the story gets very dark. It's a dark period of Takius' life when you read the book. It's a very dark period. He's in agony. It's a dark period of his life, hence why I didn't show you Volume 3. I don't want to spoil the story for you, man. I showed you some sections of Volume 1 and Volume 2, but notice how Volume 3 I never showed you guys. Except for that scene that you guys read when Eratet's like, stop, when he's approaching the blacksmith city, Saphius. But I didn't show you anything in Volume 3 because I don't want to spoil the story for you, man. That's when the story gets deep and dark. It's a dark episode of Takius' life, that's why I didn't show you Volume 3. I don't want to spoil the story for you. You guys are purchasing my book, I don't want to spoil the story for you, Sarah. Yeah. 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 How much copies will they sell? I don't know, 650 to 1 billion copies in honor it sells. If I sell 1 billion copies, I'll make close to that 18, 17, 20 billion dollars around there. I sell 900, 16, 17 billion. If I sell 800, I'll make my 14, 15 billion. If I sell 700, I'll make my 11, 12, 13. If I sell like 650, I'll make my 10. Around there, 10.8, whatever it is. He's like, how's money made off your book, by the way? I made $12.5. You made $12.5 off your book? I'm like, yeah. She's like, holy shit, that's a lot of money. I know. That's a lot of money, man. A lot of money, yeah. Some Sarah. Yeah. So when you release your book, it'll be a public embarrassment, yes. When I release my book, it'll be a public embarrassment in the anime industry, as I wrote a masterpiece. You can hate on my writing all you want. It's a bit, some sections, I know, 0 point, a little bit of my book is raw, but even if it's a little bit raw, like, no author entertained you the way I did, man. The way I did. Last one was names is more entertaining reading Game of Thrones, Lord of the Rings, and Harry Potter. And Stormlight, Way of Kings. Yeah, it's more entertaining than all those books. Those books have richer world building, richer descriptions of characters and all stuff in the landscapes, but the story's not as entertaining. The characters are not as entertaining as my book. I wrote the more entertaining story, hence why I'm obviously the better author, as my stepmother told my book's #1. So, Sarah? Yeah, there you go. Well, I am fixing up some of the rawness in Volume 3, but I read Volume 3. Most of the dialogue flows really well, but there's some sections in it, a little bit of sections in it where the dialogue is a little bit stiff. That's why I'm going over Volume 3 and I'm fixing up some stuff to polish it up a little bit more, obviously. I'm barely polishing it up because when I read it, I'm hooked and it's entertaining. But some of the dialogue, I added a few stuff with the dispute. I went over that scene. I added more stuff to make it more interesting when I went over it a couple of days ago. The dispute with the Northers and the Southers in Volume 3. Stay tuned for that when you read it. Looking at an amazing scene, man. The Northers don't like the Southers, the Southers like the Northers. It's actually funny when you read that chapter, obviously. That's the second chapter of Volume 3. What was Cyrus? No, sorry. Secret Council of Surprising Arrival. That's the second chapter of Volume 3. Volume 3 has the least amount of chapters. There's only 4 chapters in Volume 3, but they're longer. They're much longer than the other volumes. All the chapters in Volume 3 are very long. I wrote like 100 plus pages for each chapter. What's the longest chapter in your book? I think War and Becoming King is my longest chapter. I wrote like a 150 pages of that. 160 pages of War and Becoming King, front to back on my notebook. So War and Becoming King is a very long chapter. That's the war, the battle, obviously. And all my chapters are 100 plus pages on my book, on my notebook for Volume 3. Volume 3 is the longest, but it has the least amount of chapters, only 4 chapters. Volume 2 has, I think, 5 chapters. Volume 1 has, I think, 5 chapters too, whereas Volume 3 only has 4. I have a total of 13 chapters in my book. 14 if you include the prologue. 5 chapters in Volume 1, 5 chapters in Volume 2, 4 chapters in Volume 3, and you have the prologue, so you have 14 chapters in my book. But they're long. Volume 3 is very long. The chapters are very long. You're looking at 100 plus pages for each chapter in my book for Volume 3. Something fucking long, yeah, man. Yeah. Hey, give me a second. I'm going to go upstairs and get my coffee. My coffee should be ready by now. I'll be back in a sec. See, we don't wait up a lot. We're not doing this show about my book, right? Alrighty, guys, I'm back. Oh, I'm serious to make my coffee. It's fresh coffee. There was a little bit of cream left, enough for my coffee, so I got lucky. I love coffee with flavored cream. It's fattening, obviously, but it tastes so good. Obviously. Why have you eaten anything all day? No, I didn't, man. But I'm gonna get the junk food after this video. I'll bike to Snack Shack and I'll get, or I can get Bob's. Bob's is cheaper than Snack Shack. Snack Shack will cost me like $30, whereas Bob's will cost me maybe $17-18 for, I don't know, 3 slices of pizza. But Bob's is getting annoying. Pizza's getting annoying, Zen. You know. Yeah. If you think you're going on a book tour, I most likely will. I'm going to put my email information in my book. Some people might email me, yeah, we want to interview you, obviously, in front of a venue of fans. Yeah, if you want to interview me in front of a venue of fans, I'm taking half the money, by the way, right? I'm also taking 50% for that because you're profiting off my success. The people who rent the building get their 50%. I get my 50%. Me and VJ get our 50%. But the book tour will not be as crazy as the movie world tour, obviously. Because for the movie world tour, I'm bringing the world to life. I'm acting as Prince Tactius, Eratin, and our Devils and Demons. But the book tour will be crazy too, man. A lot of fans will be buzzing. I wrote the best fans novel ever. I'm guaranteed going to go book touring for Xanus. There's no way people are not going to want to interview me. Or maybe I won't. We'll see what happens, obviously. You think it'll be a world tour? It might be a world tour, or it might be a local tour. Maybe I just do interviews in Canada, States, or something like that for the book tour. But for the movie world tour, if I go world touring, it's all over the world because I brought the world to life, man. All the demonic characters, the world building, and the battle scenes are unheard of, better than even Lord of the Rings. Yeah. You see what I'm saying? I was just saying, yeah. See what I'm saying? Yeah, easy. Ivan, you made $12,500 off your masterpiece. I'm like, yeah, I did. She's like, holy shit, that's a lot of money. Ivan, we can start that film suit with that money. We can build that dream like 5 50 in our house. I know. We can buy our jets and our yachts, get our nice clothes, our nice cars, live the dream life. Yeah. Yeah. Ivan, do you really think some fans will like Lord of the Rings and Way of Kings better? Yeah. I will not be surprised because those books are masterpieces too, obviously, right? You know, I like Brandon Sanderson's Way of Kings and George R. R. Martin's Game of Thrones and J.R. Tolkien's Lord of the Rings better than Ivan Zane's book. If you like the book better, I understand. Those books are masterpieces too. But be honest, man, when you read those books and you read my book, what story sticks out more? What story stands out more? What's more entertaining? Your book, Ivan. Yeah, since I wrote the better book. Yes, those novels have richer world building, richer speech, richer choice of words and all that stuff. The Lions of the Elves, Lord of the Rings, but the story's not as entertaining. And it's I wrote the better book than J.R.R. Tolkien's Lord of the Rings. But some fans might like J.R.R. Tolkien's Lord of the Rings better. Just depends how the art hits you. But I told you, I read Lord of the Rings. And Lord of the Rings for me is a bit boring when you read it, man. Yes, the word choices, the Lions of the Elves, beautiful. The way Tolkien describes the descriptions of the landscapes and the armor and the door and everything and the sword and the horse is very beautiful, but it's a bit boring for me personally. It's not as entertaining. Don't hate me, J.R.R. Tolkien. I'm Zen, yeah. Why is your book more interesting? Because I have the heavenly gift. God gave me the heavenly gift, hence why I was able to write down a masterpiece. He gave me the heavenly gift. I'm an amazing storyteller. I have the gifts. I can rap, I can sing, I can write books, I can write screenplays, I can act, do stand-up comedy. God gave me all the gifts I need to be successful in this world. Because he knew the gatekeepers locked the doors on me. That's why he gave me the gifts. That's why my book is so interesting, because I have the gift, obviously. My book's a masterpiece. As you guys read right now. So everything I've showed you so far, guys, from my book, was it a letdown or were you guys impressed? No, I was impressed. Your book is fucking sick, man. It's entertaining. Yeah, man, I wrote a masterpiece, man. I wrote the best fantasy novel ever written. Yeah. Yeah, my book will beat out Harry Potter, man, in copies sold. Harry Potter sold 600 plus million copies to this day since inception. My book will sell more than that, probably 650, 700 million copies. I make my 12.5 billion, 13 billion off the book. That's why Rachel will be shocked. Ivan, you made $12.5 million off your book. I'm like, yeah. She's like, holy shit, that's a lot of money. I know. Some Sarah. Yeah. And I am so hungry. After this, I'm biking to the snack shack. I'm getting my food. I'm fucking hungry. And I'll enjoy the show with you guys with my food. I ordered my Chromecast, by the way. My Chromecast should be arriving any day now so I can watch stuff on my TV. But for now on, I'm probably going to, go outside and smoke. That way they don't take my Chromecast. Yeah. 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 So the Gates know, the Gates are not stupid. The Gates know my book will be more popular than J.K. Rowling's Harry Potter and George R. R. Martin's Game of Thrones. They know that, hence why they want to control my brand. They know it'll be a very popular. Now, Ivan wrote a masterpiece, and because he has the keys, when he releases his book, it's going to be more popular than J.K. Rowling's Harry Potter and George R. R. Martin's Game of Thrones. And it's a better story than Game of Thrones. And J.K. Rowling's Harry Potter is a better story than all those novels. Those books have richer worldbuilding than mine, richer speech, choice of words, and all stuff. But the story is not as good as mine. My story is a masterpiece. It's the best fantasy novel written. That's why they want to control my brand. But zero, man. The money not supposed to be VJ. It's not for you. You're not touching my money. There you go. You won't let me touch your money. You're not touching my money either. That's how it works. If you want to get a piece of my money, how about you let me make money in this world? Zero, Ivan. You're not touching our money. Yeah, you're also not touching a dime off my book royalties either. That's how it works. You won't let me touch your money, and all of a sudden you want to take my money too, because you're fucking selfish, man. Zero. The money off the books for me, it's not for you. You're not touching a dime of money, man. Zero. It's my money, not yours. You gotta be bold. The Gates, Ivan. God gave you the keys to the kingdom. You wrote the Xanus book. The Xanus brand's yours. You own the rights to it. Don't have the Gates dupe you, Ivan. If you sell them, they're never going to let you be a billionaire, Ivan. It's not going to happen. Victoria Justice is the proof. She sold out. They won't even let her be worth $100 million. They have an envy, hence why God gave you the keys, Ivan. That way you can make your billions and the Gates don't dupe you. Sarah, they don't take your money. You can control your own money with VJ for your Xanus brand. Sarah. And even if Ivan only makes $12.5 million off his book, and that's pocket change to us, Ivan and Mary Victoria Justice will $12.5 million in their bank's a lot of power. They can start a business and make their billions off their business. And they're thinking of the bigger picture. Yeah, if Ivan makes $12.5 million off his book, he can start Scotch Entertainment with VJ, sign that mega deal with Amazon. He now controls the box office, the film profits for the $4 billion movie. He sells his merch, he sells his game. That's billions for Ivan VJ. I don't know, they're $20-25 billion. We want to control that because they're greedy pigs. Even though all the trillions in the world goes to you. And you also want to take my money too, because you have a psychotic greed and envy because you're crazy, man. Like, all the trillions in the world goes to you, and you're making with the over making $12 off my book. You're fucking crazy, man. I'm sorry, man. I don't want anyone in this world to control their money. Only I can control the money. And I don't want you, VJ, being that rich because they're envious. They don't want me living that bubble life with VJ. Spoke how I'm going to duty. Yeah, I want Ivan being small Hollywood movie, VJ stay on forever, have that kind of money, living that life, and controlling all the money where envious, yeah. Same time, they also want to be saved. They don't want to be left behind. That's why they want me to sell. That way, they're saved. Because I set the whole thing up whereby if you don't let me make money, and have me be in the public eye unless I sell to you when I'm king, that glory and fame that would have been in the public eye is now behind the scenes. And the gatekeepers in the entire world are left behind. Only the chosen actors in Hollywood and Lord of the Rings, Hobbit crew and Xanus are saved. Because the rest are all left behind, yeah. Because the gatekeepers want their full cake. Yeah, I want to destroy his relationship with his wife. I don't want him getting going beauty and staying on forever and being fresh. I want both of them to be trash. We want to be saved too. We don't want them being king. We want to take their money. Yeah, they want their complete full cake, but I'm not gonna let the kings do that, man. No way. Once I pay the fee, I'm pacing the fuck out. I'm choosing the other choice. I'm not actually doing that, man. No way. The Xanus IP is mine. It's not yours. You're not touching my money. Sarah? Yeah. Yeah, but Ivan, how do you do it, man? Like, I read sections of your book. There's something unique about your writing, your characters on a page. Guys, man, I'm being honest, I don't know how to do it, man. It's a gift that I have, man. God gave me the heavenly gift. That's why my book is so entertaining. I don't know how I can't tell you the one trick pony, man. I don't know how I do it. It's a gift that I have. You know, I have the heavenly gift from above, right now from the heavens. Some Sarah. It's a gift. God gave me the gift. Yeah. 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 Is your book long, Ivan? Well, right now I'm at 618 pages. And that's when my younger stepbrother edited volume 1 and volume 2. By the time the proofreader edits volume 3, my book will be a 700 maybe plus page book. I think maybe 750 pages, an 800 page book around there. A 700, 720, 750, 800 page book. So it's a long book, but because my book is a masterpiece, those 750, 800 pages are gonna fly by. You're gonna binge the whole thing, and like you can binge my book in one day, man. It's so entertaining. You're gonna be hooked. You can read the whole thing in like 8 hours. You binge it, 7-8 hours. You binge the whole book, which I guarantee Brian Durfee will do. Brian Durfee will binge my whole book in one day because he's a book nerd and he reads very fast. I saw in videos he said he reads 100 pages an hour, so in a good like 8 hours, he'll finish my book, my 3 volumes of my Zay story. Some Sarah, yeah. Amen. Yeah. Yeah. He's Ivan. I love your book, man. So far, what I've read, I love the character of Lithia. No, Lithia is a very interesting character in my book. When you read it, she's a very interesting character. Probably the most interesting woman character in my book. Queen Sarah is also very interesting too. When you guys read, put it in writing, she's also a very interesting character too, Queen Sarah. But Lithia is my favorite woman character in the book when you read it, right? She's an amazing character. She has the faith. That's why I like her a lot, obviously. She constantly has this faith for Tactius when you read the book. That's why I like Lithia, obviously. She's the only Seldon who believes when they threw Tactius in the dungeon. All the other Seldons doubt Tactius' claims. Well, Belle believes Lithia too, whatever Lithia says. She trusts Lithia with her life, but even Belle was not that convinced. She says, Lith, that's crazy speech, man. No way is the heir of Xanus wanting these parts. We're in the Seld. What the fuck are you talking about? There's no way that farmer Colonius guy is the Prince of Xanus, man. Why the fuck would the Prince of Xanus come here to the south? The Seldons can't believe it, hence why no one believes Tactius is the Prince of Xanus. That's why Cassius and Suetonius have to convince Eli, because they don't believe. Yeah. Because I've been looking at our masterpiece, they don't believe that he's the Prince of Xanus, because no one's ever come to the South. I'm like, yeah, Peter, he's on trial like Jesus. I'm like, yeah, I've been looking at our masterpiece. This is Lord of the Rings. I know he's Lord of the Rings. Looking at a masterpiece, man, yeah. Yeah. Looking at a masterpiece. Ugh. I have to clean my room. My room's an absolute mess. I'll clean it tomorrow. Tomorrow or Saturday, I'll clean my room. After my shift at Coco Fruity, I might clean my room. I might go over my book, and I'll clean my room. By the time my video will be maybe 5:30, and I'll make a video after my shift at Coco Fruity tomorrow. My room's a mess. I have to clean it. Yeah. Tomorrow, I might do a board video. On my way after my shift at Coco Fruity, I'm gonna go to the doll store. I'll buy another board because this board is smudged. It's all smudged. I can do a board video. Talk about my book, the Xanus book, the Xanus movie, all that stuff, right? Yeah. I still have 2 beers left. Yeah. I'll eat my food first. I might have 1 beer. No, I'll eat my food first and I'll drink my remaining 2 beers. Obviously. Yeah. Ivan, what scene in your book blows your mind away? What volume blows your mind away the most? Volume 3. That's why it's my favorite, because Volume 3 is when the plot blows your mind away. It's something you didn't expect. It's a plot twist. But some fans might not like that plot twist because I take it on a totally different direction. Obviously. But it coincides with the story, with the faces in the sky, but you don't really expect that to happen in Volume 3 when you read it. That's why I enjoy Volume 3, because Volume 3 is when the story gets deep and dark. It's a dark period of Taki's life, and you have a huge plot twist that you don't expect, obviously. But I give a few foreshadowing hints when you read Volume 1 and Volume 2. That's why I enjoy Volume 3, because I don't want to spoil the story for you. So, Sarah, I wrote a masterpiece, man. Yeah, a masterpiece. Amazing story. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, I lit the roach. Yeah. Ivan, what product do you think will do the most in sales for your Xanus brand? Probably the book. I'm probably going to make the most money off the book. Then second, probably the game. And then third, the movie. And the merch will do the least, obviously. The merch won't be as popular as the other stuff, obviously. Because the game, book, and movie is entertainment, whereas the merch is not entertainment. The merch is luxury. It's nice to have a poster, toys in your house, but like the merch will do the least out of all my brands. But it'll still do billions, right? Because not everyone around the world will buy my merch. Some people might not even buy the merch. Yeah, I don't feel like paying money for the merch. Yeah. Maybe 3/4 of the English-speaking world buys my merch, and the other quarter, they don't buy it. Yeah. 3/4 of the people in the world buy my merch. My merch might do maybe I might make maybe 4 billion off the merch. I make a good 8 off the movie, and I make my maybe 9, 10 off the game. Some Sarah. Yeah, and me and VJ would make our like 23, 24 billion off the movie merch a game. Something crazy. That's why the game's on controller, because they're greedy pigs. Even though all the trillions in the world go to you, because you're fucking greedy, man, you know. Ugh. What if everyone in the world buys it? If everyone in the world buys it, I'm gonna make my like 100 billion off the book. Something crazy. But it's not gonna happen because people in China, most people in China, India, the Middle East, South America, Africa, Mexico don't speak a word of English. So if you don't understand English, why the fuck would you buy my book? You can't read it. And they're not allowed to translate it. They don't have the copyright is mine. And no one in the world is allowed to translate my book. Because, yeah, hence my book will be released in English. That's why it's the English speaking world I'll buy it. That's why you're looking at 650 to $1 billion bucks. $1 billion copies sold. That's why it's like 10, 12, 14, 15, 18, $20 billion I make off the book. I'm sorry. Yeah. That's how you'll be shocked. Ivan, you made $12.5 billion off your book, like 12.5 with a B. I'm like, yeah. She's like, holy shit, that's a lot of money, Ivan. Because VJ doesn't know what's like to have that kind of money in the bank. Are you gonna share that money with me? I'm like, yeah, I will, VJ. Relax. Are you gonna share that money with you? Yeah, I'm not sure that money. Yeah, VJ. When you register at the bank for our bank cards, you're putting the amount of money you have in your bank. You're putting it in the same account. We're sharing it together. That's the best way to make it work. It's not fair that I did all this for you and I made like my $12.5 off the book. I'm sharing that with you, but you don't want to share a dime of your money. No, you're sharing your leftover money. I don't know, your $2 million you have in your bank, whatever it is. You're sharing that with me too. That's how it works. It's fair. Yeah, I'm now sharing the leftover $2 million out of my bank with you. Yeah, because once I get Rija out of Hollywood, and she now sees the light, she no longer has access to her money that she makes in Hollywood for her royalties or Victorious. I can't eat. She no longer has access to that because I got her out of Hollywood. Because I made out the $12.5 off my book, she's now sharing the billions with me. We can live that amazing life together and be movie stars for Xanus, right? We signed that mega 80-20 deal with Amazon. You know. So my book deal is the same deal as my movie deal, right? 80-20 deal with Amazon, 80-20 deal with Lulu. I take 80% of the royalties. Lulu takes the 20% cut of the royalties I make off my book sales, my Xanus book sales. I technically take like 78% because PayPal takes like 1.8% of the money of my royalties. So PayPal's making a couple $100 million off my book royalties, whereas Lulu's making their billions. I don't know, a few $billion bucks or 3.54 billion bucks they make off me, my book sales, obviously. Because I'm self-publishing Xanus, I'm not traditional publishing. The traditional publish I have to sell to the gates. Self-publishing is my own business. I have the keys. I'm gonna self-publish Xanus. The self-publishing, you own the rights to your novel, but you have to market it yourself. Because I have the keys, I don't have to worry about the marketing and all that stuff. I can market the book myself. I have the keys to the kingdom. That's why everything's easy for me. So, Sarah. Yeah. How deep is volume 3? Biblical level deep. That's how deep it is. You know, Christ in agony and the cross. Yeah, I think something deep like that. That's why you get a lot of Jesus symbolism with Tactius when you read my book. You don't get the Jesus symbolism when you really read volume 1 and volume 2. Once you read volume 3, yeah, I caught the Jesus symbolism in Ivan's book. Yeah, you catch the Jesus symbolism in my book, Xanus, my masters that I wrote. Amazing story. Yeah, man. Amazing story. Yeah. Yeah. Ivan, man, you're so fucking cocky, man. You really think your book is the best fantasy novel written? Well, my stepmother told me it's number one. Like, the Gates own everything. The book publishing business they own. They know all the best books like Harry Potter, Georgia, and Game of Thrones. And they told me, my stepmother told me, your book's number one, Ivan. Your brand is number one, and Hollywood would love your story. They'd be all over your story. So if she told me it's number one, that means Xanus is better than George R. R. Martin's Game of Thrones, Brandon Sanders's Way of Kings, his Mistborn, Wheel of Time, Malazan, Stephen Erickson's Malazan, Joe Abercrombie's fantasy series, and Gerard Togo's Lord of the Rings is a better book than all those books. That's why the Gates want to control my brand, because they know what? They know Xanus is a masterpiece, man. The best fantasy novel written, as you guys read, right? My book is fucking entertaining. It's an entertaining read when you read it. A masterpiece. Yeah. Almost done here, guys. I'll go for maybe a little bit over an hour, but I'm gonna shut the camera off soon. I'm tired. I'm really hungry. I'm gonna go to the snack shack and get some hot dogs or maybe hamburgers. The hamburgers are better, but they're more expensive. So I might just get the hot dogs. It's cheaper, right? I'll get the hot dogs at Snack Shack. Yeah. Yeah. So your print edition would be beautiful. Yeah, I'm gonna have a beautiful red cover. You have the gold inscriptions of the trees and on top. The ones on top look beautiful. The ones on the bottom look cursed. That's my idea for the book. In the middle it says The Last Over Xanus, Volume 1, Volume 2, Volume 3 by Ivan Amara, edited by whoever edits my book. Yeah. And you're looking at the best ride of a lifetime. You're looking at the best entertainment ride of a lifetime. You're looking at an amazing book, man. I wrote a masterpiece, man. I read my book a good like 5-6 times, 4 or 5 times, and every time I read it, I never get tired of it. I'm hooked. Xanus is a story you never get tired of. You can read it over. You can read it 50 times in your life and never get tired of it. It's such an amazing story. It's so good, man. That's why the Gates want to control it, because they know I wrote such a good book, man. I wrote a masterpiece. Yeah, as you guys read such in my book, yeah, it's a masterpiece. Yeah, the greatest story ever told, man. Ever. Yeah. So Tacitonius thought they were ordinary bats. Yeah, when they said the bats, there's legends of dwelling devils and creatures that live there. Tacitonius thought they were ordinary bats. Because he's clueless. He doesn't know that much about the South, obviously. And then Cornelius is like, I believe Cornelius tells him, yeah, these are no ordinary bats, Tacitonius. They are big and fierce. They can kill even you, one who's trained in Xan arts. They are devils. And he's like, oh, come on, we can fight them. And then, like, Cassius is like, Tacitonius, you know what I'm saying? Listen to them. The words my greatest ever advice on a journey. I am now sick. My book is sick. Yeah. Yeah. Of what use is this question, General? How many? You know what I'm saying? Yeah. We're going to need as many men able to bear arms if we're going to wander into that cursed cavern, right? Yeah. And that leads to Ephesus. That's why I didn't show you volume 3. I was supposed to for you, right? The king bad of the mountains, right? Yeah. The king of the Gilead city and the king bad of the mountains. You'll see what I mean when you read the beginning of volume 3. I won't spoil for you. That's why I didn't show you volume 3. That's when it gets deep and dark. Yeah. Very deep and dark, yeah. So your book is dark. Yeah, children die in it, man. When you read the end of Exodus Sapphics in Volume 2, I explained this before. Taki says, even though we're saving the Southerns from Eretat's grasp in the south, and they're going to my kingdom, the heavenly, beautiful kingdom of Xanus, my fear is that some of these children here will not see the north. That's what Taki says in the end of Volume 2. I don't want to spoil the story for you. And he was right. It's not a spoiler. It's obviously some civilians die in the caverns, right? If you have a war, obviously some of them are going to die. And children die, yeah, it's gory and dark, man. That's why I'm looking at a masterpiece, man. You're going to see children getting killed in my movie when I adapt it to the big screen. Peter's like, we can do a thing where the children don't die. I'm like, no, Peter, I want the children dying. That way it's a powerful story. Don't play that morale game, Peter, man. You guys turned me into porn, so I shut you for good. When I wasn't interested in having sex, I was hot romance. I shut you for good. You can't say shit. Those kids are gonna watch my porn videos too. So don't play that morale game with me, Peter, man. I shut you for good. Yeah, you shut up for good. Yes, Peter, I shut you for good. I'm sorry. Yeah. Hence why it's rated R. It's dark. I'm totally down the sex scenes, but in terms of the horror of the wolves, it's rated R. Like, you see people's heads getting cut off. They feast on flesh. They kill children. It's a dark story, obviously. Very dark. That's why looking at the best movie children ever made and the best novel written. I wrote a masterpiece, man. Amen. Yeah. Why don't you use the term Southerners and Northerners? Because I think Northerns and Southerns sounds better. So Northerns and Southerns is like the slang term for a Northerner and a Southerner. But I'm gonna tell the editor, I'm gonna write a note here. Do not change the word Northerns to Northerner and Southern to Southerner. Keep the word Northerns and Southerns. It's a slang term that they call them. Keep it slang. Don't make that change. I'm gonna write that note. That way the editor knows. When I get my book edited, obviously, my grammar, spelling, punctuations, and sentence structures, some sorry for my book. Some sorry? Yeah. So Ivan, you're very protective over your book. Oh yeah. Xanus is my baby. I don't want anyone touching that, man. I don't want anyone reading my story. That's why I'm not selling to the gates. I don't want the executives in Hollywood ruining my story. Perhaps ruining my story. They're going to make all these changes. I'm very, very protective over my Xanus brand. That's why I don't want anyone controlling that, man. The brand's mine. Nobody in this planet is controlling my Xanus brand. It's my brand. I have the keys on the side of the gates. This is my money. It's not theirs. I'm not touching a dime of my money, Samsara. It's me, Vijay's money. It's not yours. The trillions of the world goes to you, and you kept me poor working minimum wage jobs. I'm not going to let you take control of my boat. You're crazy, man. Yeah. You're going to dupe me, man. You're not going to let me be later. I think I'm stupid. I don't want to share with a garbage rhetoric justice. I don't want a garbage wife. Are you crazy? Vijay's trash, man. Yeah, man. Ivan, I'm sorry, man. I like J.R.R. Tolkien's Lord of the Rings and George R. R. Martin's Game of Thrones and Brandon Sanderson's Storm That Way of Kings better. Okay, if you like those books better, I understand. Art hits everyone different ways. If you like those books better, I understand. I'm not gonna what make a big deal out of it. If you like those books better, I understand. As some fans might hate, I like Lord of the Rings better. If you like Lord of the Rings better, I understand. Art hits everyone different ways, right? Because there are going to be some fans who will say, yeah, Ivan's book was a bit raw. I like Lord of the Rings and Way of Kings and Game of Thrones better than Harry Potter. But if you like those books better, I understand. Art hits everyone different ways. But I highly doubt it, man. My book is very entertaining. And these authors' books are not as entertaining as my books. I wrote a masterpiece, man. Yeah, man. Yeah. And the Zane's book will have crazy worldwide buzz, man. You're going to see fancy Reddit exploding with Xanus. They talk about it in coding, right? Yeah, it's so funny. Oh my fucking god, that book is fucking amazing, man. I had a blast reading that. That's the best fans I've ever heard in my life. I know. It's a masterpiece. Yeah. Better than all these fancy office books, right? It's a masterpiece. Yeah, man. I'm sorry. Yeah. Samsara. So I hope you guys were impressed by what I showed you. Hope you guys were impressed by my book. Obviously, your book is sick. I know my book is a masterpiece. I hope you guys were impressed by what I showed you. I'm not showing anymore. I can't show you anymore because my phone doesn't work. Maybe that's a sign from God. Ivan, stop showing the world your book, obviously. And what? I'm not showing anymore. I don't want to spoil store for you. You guys will see when you purchase my book. Samsara. Yeah. Yeah. Ivan, does Tacti's sword have powers? No, it doesn't have any powers, but it's a special sword in the sense that it was made specifically for the Prince of Xanus, and it has inscriptions on it, like the ring. Yeah. I might do a thing. I might throw in a Lord of the Rings Easter egg. What if we do a thing, Peter, where by Tacti's sword, it glows like reddish, like fire, like the ring with the inscriptions. You can do that to make it more interesting, obviously. Throw in a Lord of the Rings Easter egg because Peter's directing Xanus. Or Mel Gibson, if I use Mel Gibson right now, you can do that for the movie. Let no thief or imposter steal this sword, for it bears the weight of royal renown. That's what's written on the sword. In other words, the prince's sword is specifically only for Tacitus. That's why Eli and them wrote, "Let no thief or imposter steal this sword." Obviously. Why did Eli and them write that? I don't explain it in the book, but in the Safavian tradition, if a thief or an imposter is guilty, they get thrown in a dungeon. Hence why Eli specifically put that on the sword, because it was made specifically for the Prince of Xanus. Hence why they don't believe Tacitus is the Prince of Xanus. They think he's an imposter. So I won't spoil the sword for you. That's why Sirius said you're a sword higher. They can't know you're the Prince of Xanus. It's dangerous. The Solomons don't like the Northerns, and they can draw the wolves there. That's why Tacitus used a fake identity. That's all I'm going to say. I won't spoil the sword for you. That's why I wrote a masterpiece. Yeah. But even Tacitus the First doesn't like the Solomons. That's why he's like, go now. You have my thanks, Noble. Yeah, get the fuck out of here. You're not welcome here. You have my thanks, Noble. Yeah. And that's how the stories are passed down to the Solomons. The Solomons who come to the north, the Northerners might tell them stories here and there about Tacitus the First, and that's how they pass it down. That's how they know, right? Alright, that makes sense. Yeah, I don't explain in the book, but that's the reason how they know. The Northerners tell them stories about Eretad and all them when they fight Eretad. How he feasts on human flesh and everything. Yeah, that's how the Solomons know. Yeah. That's how they know, right? Yeah. Almost done here, guys. Yeah. So you pretty much have two different worlds. Yeah. The north is its own world, the south is its own world. You have like two different kingdoms. The north is holy and beautiful, the south is cursed. And you have the gray sky, the atmosphere is cursed. You have a different atmosphere in the south. And the sun sets faster in the south, but sets slower in the north. So when it's sunset in the north, it's like moonshine in the south. Because you have like two different time zones, it's two different worlds. But one is holy, the other one is cursed. That's why when you apply them onto the base screen, you're looking at something beautiful. And you're looking at a masterpiece that I wrote. That's why my world building is so unique. Even though Lord of the Rings and Game of Thrones and Way of Kings has richer world building with the descriptions and everything, and the richer word choices, the language of the elves with Lord of the Rings, my world building is something more unique about it. And my story is the more entertaining story. It's a better story. As you guys read, right? It's a masterpiece, my book. It's a fucking entertaining read. Some sour. Yeah. Yeah. Are the wolves scary in your book? No, they're not that scary because it's a book, right? Yeah, you guys read some of the wolf scenes. The wolves are not that scary in my book. Well, volume 3, they're pretty freaky, but because it's a book, they're not that scary. But once I bring the demonic characters to life, looking at devils and demons, hence why a lot of crazy worldwide buzz in this, obviously. Yeah. But volume 3, the wolves are a bit more freakier when you read it, but even then, they're not that scary. But it's a powerful story when you read the book. and it'll blow your mind away, whereby you're like shocked. Holy shit, man! Like Ivan wrote a massive, man. No fantasy author will be able to top this. Yeah, you can't top that story. Too entertaining and too deep and powerful. You can't untop that. Can't top that, man. It's too deep, too powerful, too entertaining. I'll read it right now. Yeah. Yeah. As I will be shocked when she meets me. Ivan, did you really write The Last of Us Aliens on your own? I'm like, yeah, I did. She's like, holy shit, man, that was such an amazing story, Ivan. That's a masterpiece, man. That's the best novel I ever read in my life, I know. Ivan, you wrote that on your own with no help? I'm like, yeah. She's like, holy shit, that's a fucking masterpiece, Ivan. That's the best novel I ever read in my life, I know. And I made the billions off it, right? That's why I'm going to experience crazy fame for the book. Something crazy. Yeah. Everyone on a little buzzing about it. Holy shit, did you read Ivan's book, man? Holy shit, that's a fucking masterpiece, I know. It's an amazing story, man. Amazing story, yeah. Yeah. So the critics will be giving your book raving reviews. Oh yeah, like 4.8 out of 10, 4.5 out of 10, 4.8 out of 5, 4.5 out of 5. Because for books, it's out of 5 usually, right? Yeah, 4.8 out of 5, 4.5 out of 5, 4 out of 5, 5 out of 5. Entertainment ride of a lifetime, literary cinematic masterpiece, a page turner, popcorn fantasy, an epic horror thrilling adventure. An unbeatable story, like raving reviews, yeah, from the book critics, right? The movie critics will be giving good reviews for my movie, dude, like a masterpiece, and the book critics will be giving amazing reviews for my book. Now, I even wrote the best fantasy novel written. Yeah, I wrote a masterpiece. I set the standard for fantasy, and no author will be able to top it. It's too entertaining. You can't top that, and the story is so powerful. It doesn't get any deeper than that. You can't top that, man. It's too deep, too powerful. No. That's why Xanus will be the best fantasy novel written. Anyways, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I made an hour and like 60-minute video. That's good enough. I'm tired. I'm fucking hungry. Hope you guys enjoyed this show. Stay tuned. I'll make a video tomorrow after my daunting shift at Coco 40 in the evening. This is Ivan. I'm signing out. Peace, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed this show with my book. Peace.